Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. After changing the rear shock for the CRF300L, it's now the time to change the spring for the front forks as well, to have the bike more balanced. So if you're interested in this type of information, please stay with me. First, we're gonna have the bike up on a stand to be able to remove the front wheel. First, remove the 2-pinch bolts that are holding the axle, and then go ahead and remove the axle itself. Now we have to remove the front plastic cover together with the ABS sensor and the caliper. Then I will use a bungee cord or something to elevate them and to keep them somewhere around here near the bike so that we can remove the fork. It's a good idea, before taking everything off, to take a picture to see the line routings, because as you see, this line comes here in the front and goes to the back and goes around the fork leg. Now we're going to remove the caliper, the brake caliper, and that is held in place by two 12mm bolts. So for that you need a 12mm socket. Before disconnecting the caliper, it's better that you take out the ABS sensor first, because it is attached to the caliper, and as it will fall down, it will put some pressure on the cable. So let's go ahead and remove this one. Again, this bolt is not necessary to go inside the pan. I will just put it back here. Okay, now we can go ahead and completely remove the caliper. Here is a clip, here is the caliper. You can put it here, resting on the engine case. Okay, so we have both of our forks free from accessories. There's no need to remove but I think I'm gonna do it anyway, the protection for the right fork. But I think I'm gonna do it anyway, just to have more access to to clean the fork, to clean the leg, and to change the oil. Now, in order to remove the forks, the procedure is quite easy. First of all, we're gonna loosen these two top clamp bolts. Then we're gonna loosen the top nut here from the cover. Then we're gonna loosen these ones, and the fork will come out. Now also here, it's a very good idea, take a picture on the top clamp to see the distance between the clamp and the edge of the fork. Okay, just to remember how it was. So when you put it back, you put it back in the same way. Now we need to go ahead to loosen the nut of the fork, because it's better to have it loosened while it's here. Otherwise it will be a little bit more difficult when you have it in hand and removed. For this, we're gonna need the 30mm socket. This is it, 30mm. And I'm using a joint because I have some constraints related to the space here. When you have everything mounted, the handlebar and everything, it's a little bit difficult because of the space. tight space here, but I think I'll manage it. We need to loosen these bolts and then the fork will come out. As you saw, the fork came right out and it's very easy to remove it. Then we're gonna do the same for the other side and have both of the forks in hand to clean them and to start working on them. Yes, we are going to service them separately. I will start the one with the one with the spring, but before everything we will start with a very good cleaning. Now, because I have loosened in the beginning the cap, I'm going to remove it by hand. Now you need to be careful that there is still oil inside, which we need to remove. So we're going to slowly push it down. And we need to start removing the oil. Let me take this out because okay, it's brand new oil, and the manual says just to give it a little push and to remove everything. Here inside the fork there's this safety pin. It's here, and it's keeping all the system to stay in place. And the procedure says with one hand you should apply a little bit of pressure to release the pressure from this safety pin, and then remove it with a small sharp tool and all the system will come out. Let's try it. So there you go, guys. This is the small safety thingy that you need to remove. It's a little bit tricky to remove, but not impossible. With a screwdriver you can work your way around it and to remove it from the seat. Now what we need to do is we need to remove the system because it will come out and replace the spring. Yeah, so basically that small washer was keeping everything together, everything inside. So now you just have to remove this rod. Let's put it aside, and inside we will have the original spring. Yes, but before putting in the new spring, it's really important to have nothing inside, to have the fork compressed, and to pour in the new oil to measure the air gap. For the oil, Brook Suspension instructed me to use Motul 10W. The viscosity is 10W, and for the left leg, that means the one for the right leg, that means the one with the spring, I need 126mm air gap. For the right one, 47. One more thing I need to show you. To measure it, we need to measure from the inner tube to the oil level, to the oil surface. From here we need to have in this left leg, in this right leg, the one with the spring, we need to have 126mm of distance between the surface of the oil and the top part of the inner tube. Add a little bit more, but let's not forget that there is always time for coffee. Now we're gonna put back the spring, the new spring. Very good. Now that we have the oil in, it's just a simple matter of putting back and reinstall this system. What we need to do is to compress it a little bit and to have the small washer sitting and securing the system. Now we're going to allow the fork to sit down before closing for about 5 minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, we can take out the oil from the other fork and just replace the oil. That's it. There's nothing to be done for the other fork. So let's put the oil inside. So here we need to have 47 millimeters. Now, before letting it sit, it's very important to close the fork in the upper position, not like this, because if you close it like this, compressed, it will create an air suction, an air suction, a vacuum, and you cannot compress it anymore, extend it anymore. Then, in order to close it, we need to take this tube up, okay? Going back to the right side, to the right fork, the one with the spring that we just swapped, is just the exact same situation. You cannot close the cap with the tube compressed. You have to close it with the tube extended. So as an essence, this is the job that we had to do. To upgrade the spring. Now let's get that refitted.